I think about 2024, it wasn't just the photos I took or the places I traveled to. It was this gear that truly made it possible. These cameras, these tools, they didn't just sit on a shelf. They were with me through every single challenge, every creative breakthrough, and even the moment I doubted myself. And you know what? Some of this gear completely changed how I shoot, opening doors I didn't know even existed. Others, well, they made me question if they even deserved a place in my bag. Today, I'm going to show you what made the cut, what I love most, and what might not stick around for next year. So let's dive in, starting with the heart of my creativity, the film cameras. Let's talk film cameras. These aren't just tools. Each one has its quirks, its personality, and its role in shaping how I work. This year, a few stood out for very different reasons. First up, the Mamiya 7. If you haven't been following me for a while, you won't be surprised to hear this. It's still my go-to camera, and honestly, it might always be, because it's not just a camera, it's an experience. Every time I pick it up, it feels like a sense of excitement. It's hard to describe, but it's like the camera is whispering, let's go and make something beautiful. It's lightweight, the rangefinder is a dream to use, and the images it produces, chef's kiss. They're stunning every time. The Mamiya 7 has this incredible ability to capture detail and mood in a way that no other camera I've ever used can. I'll be honest though, this camera isn't cheap and it's not the most forgiving. But what I love about it is how it makes me slow down. When I shoot with the Mamiya 7, I'm not just taking pictures, I'm thinking, composing, and really connecting with what's in front of me. And that's something digital cameras has never made me feel. Next up, the Yashica T5. Now this one has a bit of a comeback story.
Everyone loves a good comeback story.
For most of the year it was broken. The lid wouldn't open and the camera just wouldn't turn on. I thought it was done for. But then, one random day I picked it up again and like magic, it just worked. It felt like the camera was asking for another chance. The Yashica T5 is everything I want in a point and shoot. It's compact enough to fit in my pocket, it's straightforward to use, and the image quality, it's way better than it has any right to be for a camera this small. This year it became my go-to for those moments when I didn't want to carry a full setup but still wanted incredible photos. It's also a joy to shoot with. You know those cameras that just feel effortless? That's the T5. It's the kind of camera that just lets you focus entirely on the moment instead of fiddling with settings. And for that, it earned a permanent spot in my collection. Now let's talk about the Mamiya 5, which was my travel companion during a 5-week trip to Denmark this year. This camera, it surprised me. At first glance, it's easy to underestimate it, but then you start shooting and you realize how much power it packs. Like the Yashica T5, the Mamiya 5 delivers exceptional image quality in a small, portable package. But what sets it apart, it's that zoom lens. Being able to zoom in and out gave me a level of versatility I didn't expect from such a compact camera. It's a feature that came in handy so many times during our trip, capturing details I'd missed with a fixed lens. And I have to say, this camera has a personal meaning to me and my family. It's a story I'm saving for when we hit 1 million subscribers. But trust me when I say the Mamiya 5 is more than just a camera. Now, there are two other cameras I need to mention, even if they didn't see much action this year. The first is my Canon AE1 program, my very first film camera. This one will always have a special place in my heart. It's what me got started into film photography, and while it didn't get much love in 2024, it's not going anywhere. And then there's the Mamiya 645 Super. I have a complicated relationship with this one. When it works, it's incredible. The medium format negatives it produces are just stunning. But the problem is, it doesn't always work. The electronics have started acting up, and there were moments this year when it just refused to fire. It's frustrating and it made me question whether it's time to move on. I've been thinking about switching to the Mamiya 645 1000S. It's more reliable, but it doesn't have the interchangeable backs or the accessories I love about the Super. So what do you think? Should I make the switch? Let me know in the comments. So those are the film cameras that defined my 2024. Each one brought something unique to the table. From the precision of the Mamiya 7 to the unexpected reliability of the Yashica T5, they all helped me to tell my story this year. And honestly, that's what keeps me coming back to film photography. The connection, the process, and the joy these cameras bring. let's talk about the tools that made this channel what it is today. These are the unsung heroes behind the scenes, the gear that didn't just capture moments but helped to tell stories. If the film cameras are the heart of my work, these tools are the engine that keep everything running smoothly. Let's start with the MVP of 2024, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. This tiny powerhouse changed everything for me this year. The image quality is incredible, but it's the little details that make it a game changer. Built-in gimbal stabilization means I capture smooth footage without lugging around heavy equipment. And the 10-bit color and S-Log capabilities, the footage looks professional right out of the box. But honestly, the best part is its size. It's so compact, it's almost laughable. My entire on-the-go setup fits into a tiny pocket. The camera, microphone, battery grip, and even a mini tripod. It's the kind of setup that makes you want to go shoot more because it's just so easy. No fuss, no excuses, just pull it out, hit record, and you're ready to go. And you've seen the results. My Denmark videos, that smooth cinematic look, it's all thanks to this little device. I turned it on more this year than any other camera, and it shows in the content I was able to create. Next up, another DJI gem, the Action 2. This thing is tiny, like how does it even work tiny? But don't let its size fool you, it's ridiculously versatile. Whether I'm filming a POV shot of my bike, attaching it to a film cameras for behind the scenes footage, or even sticking it to a magnetic surface for unique angles, the Action 2 just works. It's not perfect. The low light is definitely not its strong suit, but that's where the Osmo Pocket 3 comes back into play. What I love most is how seamlessly these two devices work together. They have similar color profiles, which means color grading is a breeze. I can go from an Action 2 POV shot to a cinematic Osmo Pocket 3 clip without breaking the flow of the story. Now, let me tell you about the small rig Magic Arm. When I bought this, I didn't think I'd use it much, and boy was I wrong. This little tool ended up being a game changer. It clamps to just about anything. Light stands, bike frames, my desk, and suddenly I've got a stable mount for whatever I need. I've used it for POV shots, for the Action 2, for top-down views of my film cameras. It's so versatile, I went ahead and brought a second one. One for my studio and one for my camera bag. It's one of those pieces of gear you don't think you need until you realize you can't live without it. And then there's my Peak Design tripod. When I first saw it on Kickstarter, I wasn't sure it was worth the investment. I mean, how different could a tripod really be? But the moment I got my hands on it, I knew it was something special. This tripod is lightweight, compact, and incredibly easy to use. I've used it every single day this year. It's my go-to for studio filming, travel photography, and even as a stabilizer for video shots. I've even transformed it into a monopod when I needed extra flexibility. And the only downside, I wish it was even lighter. When I packed my bag, every gram matters, and this tripod still adds a lot of weight. But even with that extra weight, I wouldn't trade it for anything, it's just too good. Now, before we wrap up, I want to give a shout out to a couple of other items that don't fit neatly into the other categories, but were essential in their own ways. My Peak Design Everyday Backpack is exactly what it says, my everyday carry. I've upgraded to the 30-liter version, and it's just big enough to hold everything I need for filming and shooting. I love how accessible it is. Being able to open it from 3 sides means I can grab whatever I need without unpacking the entire bag. And the organization, it's a lifesaver. There's a pocket or divider for everything, which keeps my smaller accessories from getting lost. But it's certainly not perfect. The exposed zippers inside the bag, they're a problem. If you're not careful, they can scratch delicate gear, and that's a design flaw I still can get over. And those origami style dividers, great in theory, but in practice, they sometimes collapse when you don't pack both sides evenly. If you got a better backpack recommendation, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for ways to improve. And finally, let's talk about my DIY rotary developing setup. Developing film at home, it's one of my favorite parts of the process, but it's not without its challenges. When I used to do the standard inversion technique, I'd sometimes get uneven development. Parts of the film wouldn't come out right, and it was incredibly frustrating. So I built my own rotary system. It's not fancy and it's definitely not pretty, but it works. By keeping the chemicals moving evenly over the film, it's completely changed my results. My negatives are sharper, cleaner, and far more consistent. Sometimes the best solution solutions are the one you make yourself. So there you have it, the gear that defined my 2024. From cameras that sparked joy to tools that helped this channel grow. Each piece played its part in making this year unforgettable. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. See you in the next one.